All right, welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well. This is going to be part one of a final practical review series of videos. So today we're going to focus on lower extremity origins insertions primarily, and then some articulations, right and left bone determinations, and bones of the foot. All right, so it's going to be in a quiz style like some of our previous videos have been. So you'll be able to go through the questions on your own first, and then we'll go over them. All right, so let's get started. First is going to be the os coxa. So we have, 10 questions here. The first one is just right and left determination of this bone, so it's the same bone, just at different views. Then we have some origins, so all of these are in red indicating origin, but it also has an O underneath to indicate that you're being asked to identify the origin, what muscle originates at that place. All right, and then number 10 is just going to ask you what feature of a different bone articulates with the acetabulum. All right, so go through these questions. For numbers 2 through 9, identify what muscle originates at that area of the bone. So you can pause the video and go through that, and then we'll go through them together. All right, so hopefully you paused the video and went through these. So let's get started. Number 1, is this a right or a left bone? Well, if we look for some defining features here, so the anterior, superior, and inferior iliac spines are going to indicate that we're looking at the anterior view of, on this view on the left. All right, and those are going to tell us, like I said, that we're looking at anterior, and then acetabulum is going to indicate which side is medial or lateral. So this is going to be a left os coxa. Number 2 is going to be the sartorius. And I'm not going to write out the full name of every muscle. I'll probably just shorten most of them or abbreviate, so just keep that in mind as well. And I do want to mention that this will not be a complete list. So for all of these muscles, origins, insertions, IDs, everything that we're going to go through in these videos, they are not a complete list, just because that would be make for very long videos, and you should be able to study a lot of this stuff on your own as well. This is just a little practice, kind of similar to a practice practical, just a way for you to study. So keep that in mind as well. Number 3 is going to be rectus femoris. Number 4 down here, this is going to be what group. Probably should have indicated that to start. So number 4 and number 5 are going to be what group, what muscle group. So if you want to change your answer, you can go ahead and do that now. But number 4 is going to be the adductors. And number 5 is going to be the hamstrings. Number 6 is going to be glute max, gluteus maximus. 7 is going to be glute med, gluteus medius. Number 8 is going to be gluteus minimus. And number 9 is going to be the TFL, tensor fasciae lata. And number 10 is going to be what bone articulates with the acetabulum. It's going to be the femoral head, or head of the femur. All right, so hopefully those weren't too bad. Let's move on to the next bone. All right, so now we have the femur. So go ahead and work through these questions on your own. Let me add something here. So for number 12 and 13, it's looking for 2 muscles. So you can label them A and B if you'd like. Okay, yeah, that should be good. right, so you can go ahead and pause the video, go through these questions, and we will come back together and review. All right. All right, so hopefully you pause the video. So first we'll start with right or left. So if we look for the femoral head is a good indicator. That's going to always be pointing medially. And then the intertrochanteric line is always going to be anterior, whereas the crest is posterior. So knowing that, you can determine that this is a left femur. All right, number 12. So like I said, number 12 is going to be two muscles. And so this is looking for an insertion. Notice that number 12, 13, and 14 are looking for an insertion, whereas 15 is looking for an origination, or, you know, the muscle that originates there. So number 12, those two muscles are going to be the glute med and min. All right, so gluteus medius and gluteus minimus are both going to insert at the greater trochanter. So I like to remember that G for greater and G for glute, min and med, so I don't get it confused with number 13, which is going to be two muscles, or you know, the point where those muscles come together. So I'm going to use that. It'll be the iliopsoas. Right? Or you can say iliacus and psoas major, depending on what the question is asking. If it asks for two muscles, split them up. If it just asks for one, you know, that then the combined name is fine. All right, number 14 down here, this one. So this is looking for a very specific muscle that is inserting here at the adductor tubercle, and that's going to be the adductor magnus hamstring part. And 15 is looking for a muscle that originates at these 2 points. That's going to be the gastrocnemius. And lastly, sorry, this question is a little small. Number 16, what feature of what bone do the femoral condyles articulate with? And that's going to be the tibial plateaus. All right, let's move on. All right, onto the tibia. All right, so same thing, a little shorter. We have right and left for number 17, or right or left. 18 and 19 are looking for muscles that insert at these places. So for 18, it's a group, but you should be able to list out the 4 muscles within that group. And then 19, it is 3 different muscles that insert at the same place. So A, B, and C to indicate which ones they are. And then lastly, what bone of the foot does the tibia articulate with for number 20? All right, so go ahead and pause the video now and go through those on your own. All right, so number 17. So is this a right or a left tibia? Well, look for the medial malleolus. Obviously, that's going to be pointing medially. And another good thing to look for is the tibial tuberosity, which is always anterior. And a good hint here is this is going to be the patella. And using those, you can indicate that figure out that this is a right tibia. All right, number 18. So the group that inserts at the tibial tuberosity is going to be the quadriceps. All right, so that's going to be the rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius. All right, number 19, 3 muscles that insert right under that medial tibial plateau. And that's going to be, maybe you've heard the acronym that some of the TAs shared is Sargent, so S for sartorius, G for gastrocnemius, oh, excuse me, gracilis, and C, or excuse me, number C, letter C, T in the acronym is going to be for semitendinosus. Sorry about that. All right, and then number 20, what bone of the foot does the tibia articulate with? And that's going to be the talus. All right, moving on. Now we have the fibula. So number 21, figure out if it's right or a left. Number 22 is looking for a muscle or two parts of a muscle that inserts there on the fibular head. 23 is looking for a muscle that originates there. And 24 asking what bone of the foot does the fibula articulate with. So go ahead and pause the video and we'll go through them. All right, so number 21. So if you, here we have the superior part, because we have the fibular head. Bottom we have the distal or inferior part of the fibula. That's gonna articulate with the foot. And we have that wing kind of pointing down and back, and we can figure out that this is a right fibula. All right, so number 22. This is going to be the insertion of the biceps femoris. Long and short head. Number 23 is going to be the soleus. So this is one origin point of the soleus. Remember, the soleus also inserts on the posterior part of the tibia. So keep that in mind as well. And what bone of the foot does the fibula articulate with? It's going to be the same as the tibia, so talus. All right, and last but not least, the foot. All right, so number 25, asking is this a right or left? Hopefully that's not too complicated. 26 is looking for an insertion or a muscle that inserts there. It's actually going to be 3 muscles. So let me indicate that there. But it is also has a name for the group of muscles. And then we have several bone IDs here. So 27 through 31, A, B, and C, is looking for the name of the bone. 32 and 33 is looking for the specific feature of the bone. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and go through those. All right, so hopefully you can see that this is a right foot, because we have the big toe here. All right, and number 26. So down here, right at the back of the calcaneus, this is going to be the insertion for the triceps surae. So gastrocnemius, the soleus, and the plantaris. All right, now on to bones. 27 is going to be the calcaneus. 28 is going to be the talus. 29 is going to be the navicular. 30 is going to be the cuboid. 31 is going to be the cuneiforms. So A is going to be medial cuneiform, B will be intermediate cuneiform, and C is lateral cuneiform. Right, now specific feature for number 32, that's going to be the base of the 5th metatarsal. And lastly, number 33 is going to be the distal phalanx of the 2nd phalange. All right, so that completes part 1 of the review series. So hopefully that wasn't too bad. Remember, it's not a complete list, so you do still need to go and study on your own using some of the other resources that you have. Of course, always using visible body, and good luck on the practical.